The Hairy Ape by Eugene O'Neill depicts the detrimental consequences of industrialization. The play revolves around a group of firemen who gather on the forecastle of a ship, engaging in drinking and camaraderie. Despite their apparent merriment, there is an underlying tension that hints at a potential eruption of violence. The men sing songs that touch upon themes of alcohol, home, and Yank, one of the firemen, vehemently rejects the concept of home, women, and emotional involvement. Long, another fireman, attributes their miserable lives to the oppressive capitalist class in first class. He argues that the working class is superior to them. Paddy, in a nostalgic state, reminisces about a time before engines, when the ship, the sea, and mankind were united as one. Yank dismisses Paddy's sentiments, perceiving him as a relic of a bygone era and himself as a man of steel. On the promenade deck, Mildred Douglas endures her aunt's teasing as they relax in deck chairs and engage in conversation. Mildred, despite enjoying the comforts and privileges afforded by her family's wealth derived from the steel business, aspires to make a positive impact on society through her involvement in social service. Her aunt dismisses her efforts, accusing her of seeking social credibility rather than genuine altruism. Undeterred by her aunt's criticism, Mildred resolves to visit the stoke hole below deck to experience the workers' way of life. She wants to connect with them on a personal level. Mildred claims that her father, the chairman of the ship line, has granted her permission to inspect the ship, using this as justification for her visit. When the second engineer questions her choice of wearing a white dress to a dirty place, Mildred casually remarks that she can simply discard it since she has an abundance of clothes. In the stifling stoke hole, the men toil, covered in grime and drenched in sweat. Paddy, exhausted, becomes the target of Yank's mockery, which he responds to by boasting about his own endurance and ability to work at the furnace without succumbing to weariness. Yank's self-aggrandizement ignites a competitive spirit among the firemen, prompting them to work even harder, stoking the fire with renewed vigor. Amidst their labor, Mildred arrives in the stoke hole, catching the attention of all the men except Yank, who remains focused on his work. When he finally notices her presence, he directs a hateful gaze towards her, causing Mildred to become frightened and nearly faint. She pleads to be taken away and refers to Yank as a repulsive beast. Enraged by her insult, Yank hurls his shovel at the door after she departs, venting his frustration. Once their shift ends, most of the firemen clean themselves up, but Yank remains disheveled and disoriented. The other men tease him, jokingly suggesting that he has fallen in love with Mildred. Yank vehemently denies any affection, asserting that his feelings towards her are rooted solely in hatred. The firemen surmise that the engineer paraded them before Mildred like animals in a zoo, leading them to mockingly nickname Yank as the Hairy Ape, a title he relishes as it allows him to indulge in fantasies of violence against her. As his anger intensifies, the other men restrain him, preventing him from acting upon his violent imaginings. Upon the ship's arrival in New York, Yank and Long walk the city streets. Long imparts his political perspectives, while Yank seethes with anger at the exorbitant prices of luxurious furs. He attempts to provoke a confrontation with wealthy churchgoers, asserting that it is individuals like him, with their physical prowess, who truly propel the world forward. However, before Yank can engage in physical violence, he is apprehended and restrained by the police, resulting in his arrest. While confined in jail, Yank feels like a caged animal in a zoo. Initially, the other prisoners taunt him, but when he mentions Mildred's last name, they inform him about her influential father, the president of the Steel Trust. One of the inmates suggests that Yank join the Wobblies, a group of labor activists. Inspired by their ideals, Yank resolves to seek revenge through their collective efforts. As Yank's anger continues to surge, he becomes consumed by thoughts of the steel bars confining him. In a surge of strength, he manages to bend the bars, forcing the prison guards to subdue him. Once released from jail, Yank makes his way to the office of the labor union known as the Wobblies, an abbreviation for the International Workers of the World. However, when asked for his legal name, he hesitates, needing to ponder his identity. The labor union initially shows enthusiasm for Yank's desire to join, as they aim to organize workers within the ship line. But when they inquire about his approach to achieving their goals, asking if he favors dynamite or legitimate direct action, Yank responds with a preference for dynamite. This response leads to the rejection of his application, as they deem him too dangerous. Outside the union office, Yank finds himself expressing a recurring sentiment that he truly does not belong anywhere. Mistaken for a drunk, he is reprimanded by 2 policemen. Seeking solace or a sense of connection, Yank decides to visit the zoo. In the monkey house, he confides in the animals, sharing his experiences in New York. When a gorilla pounds its chest, Yank interprets it as a sign of belonging, envisioning their group as the Hairy Apes. He opens the cage door, setting the gorilla free. However, instead of finding kinship, the gorilla grabs hold of Yank, crushing him in a bone-crushing hug. In his final moments, as he crumples to the ground, Yank realizes that he does not belong with the Hairy Apes either, understanding the futility of his search for belonging. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.